Imagine this, you're working on a website when suddenly your client asks to create a mobile app. You don't panic and instead follow along to create a seamless mobile application from your web app using Angular and Capacitor. Let's dive right in, clone this repository and follow along. All links will be in the video description. Open your IDE and clone this repository. Once cloned, rename it to frontend, change into the frontend directory, and run npm install to install all libraries and dependencies. Once installed, run ngserve to confirm everything is working. Open localhost 4200, and if you see this page, then everything was installed correctly. Head back and install Capacitor Core, Capacitor CLI, and Capacitor Android. In package.json, you can check that all these libraries were installed correctly. At the time of this recording, all three libraries are version 7.2. If you want to build for iOS, you would need to install iOS libraries from Capacitor and follow similar procedures. I will go over the iOS implementation next Thursday, so subscribe and turn on the notification bell to not miss the upload. Once installed, run npx cap init to initialize a new Capacitor project. You can keep the name and package ID as default or change them if you want to. This will create a Capacitor config file. Now in the Angular JSON file, let's change the output path by removing the front end and just keeping the dist folder. Now run ng-build to build the Angular project. Once built, this is how our dist folder should look like with all the files inside of it. Next, run npx cap add android, which will create an Android project from the dist folder. Please make sure that you have an open Java Development Kit version 21, as this is a requirement to build and run the Android project at the time of this recording. Next, open Android, App, Source, Main, Res, and scroll down to XML. Create a new file and name it networksecurityconfig.xml. Once you created the file, add in this code. This will allow the app to access images and content from outside the application using HTTP and HTTPS protocols. Then in Android manifest XML, in the application tag, add this network security config file that we just created inside the XML folder. Run npx cap sync android to sync all the changes that we made, and then run npx cap run android to start up the Android project. Of course, this is assuming that you have Android Studio installed. This usually takes around 30 to 60 seconds to set up, but I'll spare you the wait and skip to the final bit. Here we can see that the Android project works perfectly, with all links working and all images present. From here, you can add notifications, access and create local files, and so much more. The sky's the limit. Thank you for watching through this tutorial. Next Thursday, I'll upload the iOS version. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to not miss the upload. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and comment if you have any questions or suggestions. Cheers!